Welcome to Breaking Ties, Destination Divorce. This is your go-to source for practical advice and support while you go through the divorce process. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll cover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here's your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst Professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello, and welcome to Breaking Ties, Destination Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, Financial Advisor and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst Professional. And today's topic, really, we're going to get into part kind of like the next phase of the relationship series, and it's moving on. Now, we've already forced things to move on because you filed for a divorce and you're going through the divorce process, and that's got you well on your way. So then, what is it that moving on can do for you, and how does this work during the divorce process? Because I'm sure you've given it some thought before you got to the divorce process, into the divorce process, and looking to get out of it. So when you look at the moving on piece, when you're going through the process, it's going to be very hard and tricky to see, because I think the most challenging piece of the whole divorce, whether you're considering it, going through it, or it's over, is the going through it part. There's a lot of legal hoops and turns and things you got to go through in order to make things work and fit things together with your future ex. A lot of decisions that have to be made, a lot of negotiations on how property and parts are going to be divided, parenting plans if you have kids. And so there's a lot of decisions going into the process itself. But while you're there, you also have the moving on piece. I mean, if one spouse hasn't moved out yet, they might be moving out. Are they moving into an apartment, into a house? How much do you get the kids involved? Really, keep the kids looking like, hey, we're still a team. We're still working on this together. Let's keep the family continuity and make this as smooth and as seamless as possible. So when we look at moving on, a lot of times during this whole going through the process bit, since it is very draining, you're also going to look at leaning on your friends a little bit. And so getting their support to help you, because it's, like I said, it's a draining process. So anywhere you can get support and assistance is fantastic to help you keep a clear mind for making good choices as time goes on. Whether you stay friends with your ex-spouse, whether you have a clean break and it's just like, hey, you do your thing, I do my thing, totally up to you. But you have to kind of decide, because that's going to dictate a little bit about how your moving on is going to take place. I mean, if you're having a clean break and you don't have to worry about the other person at all, and that's just on them, then that's going to be different than, hey, you know what, let me give you a hand, let me help you here, let me help you there, kind of thing. And then they're like, well, let me help you here, let me help you there, kind of stuff. So there's no right or wrong. It's not a good or bad thing if you're still friends with your ex or not. Not everything has to be a knockdown, drag out fight. Sometimes just, two adults come to the conclusion like, hey, I like you, I love you, we're good friends, but we're not intimate, or I don't see myself with you long term. Hard choices, absolutely a hard choice, but in the end, both of you are likely to be better for it. And that's important because, life's short, as they say. You don't want to waste too many minutes. You want to, be in the moment and be you and go from there. But, one of the challenges probably is always finances. It's going to come down to that. I mean, that's the biggest part of the legal process as you're going through it right now, is just the financials. It's like, all right, how do we make things fair for both parties? How do we take care of the kids if there are kids? And in the end, hey, you hope it's as good as it can be for both people. So moving on, moving out, friends, not friends, leaning on your friends, finances, it's a big, muddled mess, it seems, as you're going through the process. But I assure you, you'll get through the process. And if you're able to go through and work through some things in your head as you're going through this time, then you'll be able to come out of this a little bit quicker and faster on getting on your feet and making sure that you start the next chapter of your life kind of thing. So with that, I want to thank you for joining me on Breaking Ties, Destination Divorce. I'm Mike Fulkerson again, and I'm going to wish you a good day. Take care.